What's good, y'all? My name is Darius, and I'm back with more of the budget build guide in Warframe. As usual, these guides are meant to help new players who don't have the more powerful mods in the game. This time I'm going to talk about the melee weapons. As usual, if you do like the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for any and all updates. Also, I have a guilded server that you can join where I do one-on-one tutorials and build discussions. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. Melee weapons have some of the highest crit chance in the game and some of the biggest damage that will come from it. In a sense, you could say that they are the last resort when your guns don't dish out enough damage. Due to this, when enemies get close, just use a few well-placed melee attacks and you can just end just about any enemy in range. This does come with some drawbacks. For one, you are in close range and will be in the middle of a mob and will get focused down. Second, when you use a time-consuming ability, you may die before you finish activating it. Finally, you are not in range to end their lives. But there are some pros with that. When you do have your melee weapon out, you can deflect bullets and stop most incoming damage. When you have a gun out, you can quickly switch to melee for some quick high value damage and so forth. Just like the previous weapons, here are some mod suggestions for early game dominance. Pressure Point, the universal damage mod for melee weapons. Nothing really much to say, except that it's just great on just every weapon. Fever Strike, Molten Impact, Shocking Touch, and North Wind, the melee elemental damage mods. These are actually much more useful on melee than you actually think. Extremely helpful in the early stages and give an added boost to factions that are weak against it. Again, Corpus are weak against toxin damage because it bypasses shields. Very good on it. Fury. This increases your attack speed. Really useful for slow swinging weapons that can add up damage fast. And when on speedy weapons such as daggers, it actually adds up a whole lot. Organ Shatter, the crit damage mod for melee. Since some melee weapons already have high crit chance, this will push it further so you can see those sweet crit numbers more often. True Steel, the crit chance mod for melee. Just like before, pair this with the other mods for maximum damage numbers. You can see more red and crit numbers with this basic setup. Reach. This is for reaching more enemies a bit further out of range. Good for large group clears and less attention you need to pay to anybody behind you as well. Parry. Useful when under heavy enemy fire. This reduces the damage you take when you block with your melee weapon and increases the damage you deal when you block with it. Melee Prowess, the status chance for melee weapon. Elemental melee weapons benefit the best from these as they already have this stat pretty high to begin with. Although the physical damage mods are of gold rank, they are worth mentioning. Even though they're gold, they're the only ones that receive this rarity in general. But they are still worth mentioning as they are only of gold variety. These physical damage mods are Heavy Trauma, Jagged Edge, and Sundering Strike. And of course, the reason I mention them is because there's no bronze or silver variant of these mods at all. These are some of the mods you can use to get up and running. Just like I mentioned in the other guides, don't upgrade these until you have a healthy amount of skill points available for use. And as usual, once again, if you haven't done so, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more as I'll be updating various mechanics over time. Also, I have a guilded server that you can join that has the resources for the subjects that I mentioned just around this guide as well. So if there's something you don't understand or want more information on, don't hesitate to ask. As usual, until then, I'll catch you guys later.